Hello everyone, welcome to Distilling Insights YouTube channel. If you watched the last video, we say thank you, and if you've not, please go ahead and watch in order to see the breakdown of how you can handle a creation of PowerPoint from the beginning and for beginners. Thank you, and let's move and dive into today's class. Now, in today's class, we'll be dealing with the A to Z shortcuts. Shout out to everyone that have gone through our videos on A to Z shortcut of Microsoft Word. Now, we are on Microsoft PowerPoint. We've also done over 50 shortcuts for Microsoft Excel and even Alt shortcut for Microsoft Word. We've also done how to personalize or create a custom shortcut on Microsoft Word. Now we are moving directly to Microsoft PowerPoint. So I know and I'm sure you know how to recite your ABC to Z. So we're going to be using that as a way to actually highlight shortcuts. Even though Microsoft have similar things in across platform, there are those shortcuts that are definite to each of the profile or each of those platforms in terms of PowerPoint, Excel, Publisher, and Access, and much more. So for now, we're moving on. Now for us, the first shortcut that we're going to be dealing with is Control A. Control A is to highlight all, just the way you see before now. When I click out and I click Control plus A, that gives us to highlight all the text that are in the text box that we've actually opened. Now, if it were to be Microsoft Word, it will highlight all of the things in the whole Microsoft Word document, but on PowerPoint, it highlights everything in that text box. And if you want to highlight the things in the text box below, you also need to do the same thing there, Control A, after picking up the text box. So now we want to go to the next one, Control B. After we've highlighted, the next thing is Control B. Control B is to make your text bold, to bolden your text, And another thing that you need to be at the back of your mind is that when there is a slideshow and you press B, B means it makes your screen to be blank. When you press B, just B, it blanks your screen. I just press it all over again. I'll tell you what I used to whiten the screen when we get to that stage. So now, that's in terms of Microsoft PowerPoint, you have two things that the shortcut for both Control B and B does. Please note, this class is actually for both Mac and Windows, meaning the shortcut that we are discussing can be utilized for both Mac and Windows. However, please also note that for Mac, it is Command A, Command B, Command C, like that. So when we are using Control for Windows related system, for Mac, we are using Command for each of them. Moving forward, we have Control C. Control C is to copy. When you copy, let's assume that we want to paste what we've copied. You can paste it here. So that's just to highlight and to identify the fact that we've actually copied something. Now, moving back to where we were. Now, we've done Control A, Control B, Control C. Now, Control D is to duplicate slide. Meaning, if you are here and you want to duplicate this slide, just do Control D. It will duplicate the slide. If you want to duplicate this next slide, Control D will duplicate the next slide. So any slide you want to duplicate, once you click on that slide, it enables you to duplicate it. And if you want to duplicate text box as well, once you click on the text box and you put Control D, it duplicates it automatically as well. But note, when you click on this text and you put on Control D, it won't duplicate the text, but it will duplicate the slide, it will duplicate the text box and any other thing that you want to duplicate in the document. Now you can see that it has duplicated this image as well. So that's the way to use Control D. Now for Control E. Control E is to make sure your text aligns center. So now Control E is to align to the center. So this that we've just done, and it's still the same thing by clicking on this icon here as highlighted before. So Control E is just to align to the center. Now Control F is to find. Let's assume I'm actually looking for a particular thing, whether it's in this write up. So let's assume I'm looking for farming. So I can find. Now I can see farming there, so that's where farming occurs. So we can use it to find text. You can see farming, it takes us to where farming is. Now the next thing is Control G. So after Control F is Control G. So for this, I just want us to quickly do something. Now let's insert objects into this slide. So I'm inserting this, and I'm also inserting another shape like this. So now when you look at this shape that we're having here, we're having two different shapes. We're having the cylinder and the other shape. For us to be able to undo this, to merge them together, if you want to move this, it's going to move alone. If you move this, it's going to move alone. In order to group it together, one of the shortcuts that you can use is Control G. Control G means to group objects. Control G is for grouping of objects. So when you want to group objects, you just make sure you select the first object, you select the second object, and press Control G. Now you've grouped the object, and you can see that moving them together, you are actually achieving the fact that you have grouped the object that we are having here. Now Control H is to replace. Control H is to replace. So let's quickly replace something here. Let's replace credit here with loan. So we are replacing credit with loan. So when you see this, it says find. So we find credit and want to replace credit. If you click on credit replace, it will replace for only the current one here. If you click on replace all, everywhere there is credit on the slide, it will replace all credit to become loan. But I just want to replace for this title page, so then it means it has replaced. Now if you check this, you're having it as loan. However, when you check the next one where we have credit that is being highlighted, you see that it's not yet changed to loan. It is currently showing as credit. This is bank's credit. It's currently showing as credit instead of loan. Now that's for replacement. The next one is the italicization. If you want to italize text, you just do Control I, it italicize it. And if you want to revert it back to the previous way, Control I, revert it back to the normal way. Now if you look at this text here, though we've aligned to the center, but I want us to justify the text, so I'm going to align left in order for you to be able to see appreciably what it means to justify. Now when you look at each of these things, the last one means to justify, meaning you are to make sure that the text are distributed to maintain the margins, the two side margins. So, and to achieve that is Control J. Control J. Control J is to justify. Now the next thing is to add an hyperlink. When you want to insert an hyperlink, probably bring up a particular thing from your document, you just do Control K. When you do Control K, it gives you what are the things you want to work on. Now I want to create an hyperlink from this, and that's what is going to bring on the slide, and this can lead us to that particular folder on the system, the hyperlink. Now moving back to where we were, so I'm reverting this to the center because we are moving to Control L. Now Control L is to ensure that we align left. Control L is to ensure we align left. So what I just clicked on is Control L to align left, to align left. And if you want to get a new slide in Microsoft PowerPoint, what you use to get a new slide is Control M. Control M will give you a new slide. Control M will give you a new slide, just as it's been done now. Now, please note, Control N for nose. Control N will enable you to create a new PowerPoint entirely. When I press Control N, it gives us a new PowerPoint entirely. That's Control N, a new PowerPoint. But a new slide is Control M, while a new PowerPoint is Control N. Now, to open a presentation that has been on the system before, previously saved, is Control O. Then this is telling us the things that we can pick up from the Microsoft Excel and we can open. That's Control O. Now moving backward to after O from our alphabetical order is P. Now P is just Control P is to print. Remember, as I've said before, that all of these shortcuts or mark is the same thing as Command P, CMD-P, that is for printing. And now, in order to quit this slide, to close the slide, what you can use is Control Q in order to quit the slide, the PowerPoint. So if you just save, it automatically saves everything that has been done on the system and it quits the PowerPoint. Now, the next thing from what we are actually discussing is Control R. Now, Control R, when you highlight this text, you can align right using Control R. You can align right using Control R. Then once you are having anything like this, if you want to save, please note what is going to be written up there. Once you click on Control S, it saves the slide. If I should make any changes here and save all over again, it's going to show. Look at the bottom here. You see clearly that it's saving the changes that has been done in there. So in order for you, please note what is going to show here. Control S, you can see. So that's just what shows that it saves the document. Now the next thing is Control T. Control T. Control T. Now Control T enables you to open the text dialog box. Maybe you want to change the text in terms of the way the text should look, and the text in terms of the font style, the font size, and every other thing, the colors. The Control T will give you the font dialog box in order for you to be able to do that. Now Control U is to underline, and Control U again will remove the underline. The next thing is Control V. Control V is to paste whatever you've copied. So let's assume that I click on this object and I copy this object. Now once I copy this object, I can paste. The object is being copied and pasted, and that's what Control V is meant for. Please note, the other time we spoke about Control D. Control D does not need you to copy. You just use Control D to duplicate the object or the slide or the text box, while Control V you must have copied with Control C before you can paste with Control V. Now in order for you to close this slide, we can also use Control W, which is the same thing with what we used the other time when we did Control Q. So Control W. Now for you to cut a particular text from or any object, you can use Control X. Now when you use Control X is actually to cut the text, this slide, whatever you want to cut. That's Control X. Now Control Y is to redo. Now, the redo means whatever you've done before, I want to repeat it. That's Control Y. And if you want to reverse what you have done, it is Control Z, which is to undo. Now, I know you appreciably enjoyed this class. However, as promised about the shortcut that was used to whiten the screen when we use B during presentation, I want to tell you that the shortcuts during presentation, you are presenting a slide to management or someone, and now you want to, there was a discussion and you need to blank the screen. B blanks the screen, just B, for both Mac and Windows. Now, if you want to whiten the screen, just W for both Mac and Windows. You don't need to put on Control or Command, just Mac and Windows. And let's assume that you are having a particular presentation going on and maybe there is a video there or something. You want to pause the presentation. H will pause the presentation. H, or maybe you've set it on a timer for it to keep moving on its own. If you just press H, it will pause the presentation. If you press H again, it will resume the presentation. So we want you to please engage with us with the shortcuts that you love most among all of these shortcuts. And from Distilling Insight, we appreciate you. Ensure to click the thumbs up button if you like what we've shared with you, and share with your loved ones. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Recommend us to some other persons to learn. You can share the video among your students. You can share it among your colleagues, just to upgrade their knowledge and to become more versatile about the utilization of PowerPoint presentations. Thank you and bye-bye.